Good afternoon, good evening, women of purpose. Hopefully you all can come in and listen if you're listening now or when you come in and listen later. So, received a message that someone has a question about releasing, detaching from past relationships. I'm assuming these past relationships are past sexual relationships, entanglements. I had some entanglements, so just to make light of it. But it is a very serious situation that many women, I know you do, the woman that posed the question, but also for myself, other ladies, we have been in relationships before, whether they have been sexual or non-sexual. Doesn't have to be a sexual relationship in order for you to have a bond, connection, what some people may call soul tie. What it really is, instead of calling it a soul tie, you have created a bond or a connection to your subconscious mind through the five senses. So let's look at it like this. We have a sense of what? Taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing. So when you're with someone, even when you're with someone sexually, you have all of those senses are heightened. You have touching, you have kissing, you have eye contact, you have voice, you have someone going inside of you, going into your womb area, your womb space. So all of this connects to all of those five senses. And those five senses of those different sensual acts become etched in your brain, etched into your subconscious mind. So, and I don't know why my allergies want to start bothering me all of a sudden. I've been good all day to now I want to do this video, and here we go. So, going back to that. So you're attached to the five senses. That attachment is from being in constant contact or a relationship or in exchange together. So you've had their energy come in contact with your energy, and you've had their energy impressed upon your five senses: taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing. Their voice, what they look like, what they smell like, what they taste like, what they feel like inside of you. Okay, kissing. You also had, their touch. You've had all of your senses heightened and being impressed upon you. So now it's like, how do I release that? Because when the physical person is gone, you, in your mind, you still have etched in your subconscious mind and your brain everything about this person that, as a physical being, we are attached to the five senses. So even when, I'll put it like this. Let's say even right now, I am vegan. I haven't had meat in 6 years. I'm using this as a scenario. Hey, Joe, what's going on? I'm using this as a scenario. So I haven't had meat in 6 years. But guess what? That first, let's say 3 to 6 months, I still knew what meat tastes like. I hadn't had meat in a long time, but I knew what it smelled like. If I was wanting some fish or everything, all of that, the taste of the fish, the smell of the fish, how I felt eating the fish or the meat, whatever it is. You still have that etched in your brain because it connects to the five senses. So when we talk about releasing someone from your womb space, we also have to think about releasing that person from the five senses, because that energy is attached to our sensory, our program. This is a sensory program that we're in as a physical body. And I'm going to get into the spiritual part, but I really want you to understand from a foundational sense, the spiritual, the physical part, and how we end up getting attached, and then how to release it. So we're attached to not just that person, because you, as well as me and possibly other people, we have been in and out of different relationships. And just like in the question, it was like, how do I release these people? So when you bring on another person, you end up getting attached to that person. Same thing, attached to that person's smell, attached to that person's feel, kiss, touch, the way they feel sexually, all of that interaction is impressed upon you, right? So it happens over and over again. They press upon your subconscious. And if you don't properly release yourself from those emotional attachments to those 5 sensory programs in your body, then it still is going. And so it's like, okay, so yes, you are attached to that person's energetic field. You're attached to that person's sensory program that has been downloaded on you, right? So how can I release myself from that? Well, first, you have to be intentional mentally that you are ready to release this person. Not going onto their social media, not accepting their phone calls, not allowing them to still be in your space and saying we're just friends, not, still having any type of interaction. Because if you really are trying to release somebody from your whole space, and we're going to get to the womb because that's a whole different program. But when we're talking about just the physical space, you have to release that person vibrationally all the way. No, we just friends. No, because you're still attached to that person in other ways. So you have to let it go, and you have to give yourself time to let them go. So releasing them, don't follow them, don't talk to them. If I've had men that I've been with that I'm like, okay, we broken up, I give myself years sometime of not talking to them, not communicating, not accepting phone calls, not texting them, nothing, because especially as women, we have to give ourselves time. Men do too. Women, because we are a womb, we have taken someone inside of us in order for us to separate from that. It's work that has to be done. So first, no contact. Releasing that contact, because now you have to reprogram your senses. And if you're still allowing this person to impress upon your senses, you're still having that connection to them. So you got to let it go. You have to let that go. So that's first. All right. First and foremost, stop any type of contact and interaction. You need to start doing the work, the cleansing work. Second, now, every single person that you come in contact with is a energetic field. Like I try to tell people, it's kind of like, I teach science. I always have to go back to science. So it's an electromagnetic field. So you're coming in contact with another electromagnetic being. We are magnetic beings, all right? So you're coming in contact with another force. So you have to release this force. This person is a force that has been on you. So you got to learn how can I release this force, this energy, and this connection, this spiritual force that, again, like what they may call a soul tie. How do I release this? All right, so we talked about first, releasing them. This is all playing upon the senses from the mind. Next, how do we do our spiritual part? So next it goes through a cleansing. Now, depending upon your practice, I have different things that I suggest people to do, but everybody is different. And it depends on what you're comfortable with doing. Okay, so I'm leaving it at that. So to release someone, because we have been programmed with that person, we have to do things to release that program from out of our mind from a spiritual space. So certain things you would want to do is a cleansing. And it's something what we call a cleansing ritual, something that you want to do to free yourself from this person spiritually. One of the things that works, and it's worked for me, one of the things you want to do is write it out. Write out everything about this person, their name, the relationship you may, I want to release whoever's name from my space, from my energy, from my mindset, because not only are you thinking it, now you're putting it out there, and then you can verbalize it. You're actually putting it out there into the universe. You're giving it to God, the universe, the universal consciousness. You're taking it away from you, and you're claiming it. This is a verbal claim. All right, so you have to put those words, that vibration out there. This person is no longer a part of me. This person is gone. This person is no longer a part. He does not have any control over my actions, over my thought processes, over anything that I have going on. This person is released from me. So you have to write this out and let it go. Some people burn it. I've heard certain women talk about, burning it. You may want to take it outside and burn it, put it in a can, burn it, and release it. You can do that program as well, where you want to write it out, take it, burn it, let it go, release it. It's gone, it's out, it's away from you. This person no longer has any type of bearing or hold on your life, because again, energy and especially sexual connections are forces. You have a connection with another force. And if you do not properly release that person and you go to another person, you're still carrying on that same person's senses. Because if you, especially with people who've been married before, you've been in long-term relationships, you have created patterns. You've created patterns that you've had with this other person in your life. The way that you do things, the way that you have to care for your husband or care for your mate, all of this is part of your day-to-day. So you have to learn how to, all of this work and this burning and this writing is actually talking to yourself. This is releasing it from your subconscious mind, all right? But for a lot of us, just saying it and snap, we're out of it, that doesn't happen. Because it has been years or months or whatever the time frame has been of you being connected to this person. So this has to get etched in your brain that this isn't going on. Just like when we talked about generational patterns. This is the same thing with generational patterns. This is the same type of work you have to do with generational patterns to release what they call curses. It's the same thing that you have to do when you are releasing a connection with a significant other that you used to be with. So writing it down and releasing it, because you're really releasing it from your mind. You're really releasing it from your energetic space. Another way, especially for women, because we are wombs and we house all of our information in our womb and we can hold on to it. So that's why I tell women, especially when I can get younger women and talk to them, it's really important for you, because you are the queen of your castle. You need to be very, very particular. And yes, we're getting ready. I just, off subject a little bit. I just confirmed the wife coach, Vashana Renee. Wife coach Vashana Renee. She's going to be with us I believe it's the last Wednesday of this month. She's going to be doing Women Talk Wednesday. I'm really excited. So a lot of us, just like myself, we haven't went through any coaching. We just like, hey, I like him. He likes me. We interact together, and you've allowed this man, you've allowed this person into your womb space. So another purge, cleanse, release that you need to do for yourself is a Yoni Steam. I don't know if you all have heard of Yoni Steam or vaginal steam, but this is something that needs to be done with intention. So what you do when you do a Yoni Steam, and it's part of a meditative practice where you can create your own pot, because that's what I did. I went and bought me this huge pot. And in the pot, you just put water in it, preferably distilled water, spring water, really doesn't matter because you're going to boil it anyway. And then you put all of these herbs that you enjoy. It could be things such as peppermint, red raspberry leaf. That is definitely good for your womb space. And it's also my friend Portia. She's not on here, but it's also women who they what's the word I'm looking for? They sell. They sell the Yoni Steam herbs that you can get. Me, I'm the type of person, I like to do everything that I know is going in my womb myself. I don't really want anybody else putting, their energy into it. I like to put my own energy into what's going inside of me. So different herbs that you can use: red raspberry leaf. I also use peppermint. You can use mullein, Mullein. You can use mullein, or you can use mugwort. That's Mugwort. You put this in the pot and you just let it get hot. All right, you let it boil, and then you take it, put it into a space. Now, some women, what they'll do, and this is what I do, I get a nice area in my living room space that's clean, or you can go into your bedroom space that's clean on the floor. Get you a nice comforter or sheet, put it down on the floor, and then put your pot in the center. You can go to Dollar Tree. There is, and I had one in here. I may have moved it. Hold on. I think I moved it. Ladies, if you don't have this, go to Dollar Tree and get it. They have this in like the mechanic, this section where this is real like a cloth to clean the car, but it's soft. It's very, very soft. And I'm always attracted to things that are just soft and cozy and cuddly, just like this pillow. So this is very soft. What you do with this, you cut a hole in the center. You make your hole about yay big, all right, in the center. So you fold it in half. What I normally do with mine, I fold it in half. I snip the center. Once the center is snipped, then I can just follow that along in a circle. Now, then you place that on top of your pot. You sit on top of the pot. Make sure it's not too hot. You do not want to burn any parts of your vagina, ladies. It has happened to me. Does not feel good, okay? And I went to a professional to get it done, and she burned me. So, another story. Anyway, you don't want it too hot. So you test it. You kind of like sit down like you're easing down on the toilet or something, where you kind of can test it. Make sure it's not too hot. If it's too hot, let it sit. Allow it to cool. Put your towel on top of it. Then you're going to sit around. You sit down on top of it, but you bend your knees, kind of like in a kneeling pose. You can get a blanket or a nice warm robe or anything to wrap around you, or a sheet to wrap around you. And you're going to sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. While you're sitting with yourself, you are also releasing any type of emotions that may come up. If you feel like you need to cry it out, this is the time that you cry. If you feel like you just need to breathe and release that person out of your life, that is what you do. But you are intentional for 10 to 15 minutes, sitting on the yoni pot with the towel wrapped around you, with the sheet wrapped around you, and allowing those herbs to go into your womb to cleanse everything out. Okay, so this is very important, because you have to cleanse your womb, because you've allowed these attachment of these men to come in, and you haven't done anything to say, hey, this is giving love back into that space. I am taking care of you. I'm sorry that, even start talking to your womb, build that connection. I'm sorry that, I got involved in a relationship with someone that didn't mean us any good. I'm sorry that I allowed these men or this man to come into my sacred space, and they didn't come in to love me or show the love and affection that I needed for us to further the relationship. They only came to bring me harm. I'm sorry. This is you forgiving yourself, right? This is you bringing love into yourself, because the next person that you get with, you don't want to bring in that same past relationship that was harmful or was devastating or was distracting, or someone that didn't hold you to your higher self or to your highest good. You want to bring in somebody who's going to be better for you, and you want to be better for them, right? So when you're in this space, when you're sitting on your yoni pot, you want to be intentional about talking to yourself, giving yourself that self-love, because you've done the release, right, with the writing it out, burning it, letting it go, and then you want to go into, yes, I'm going to sit on my yoni pot and being intentional, okay? With women, we have such a, I would say, a separation from our womb area, unless it's time to either have a cycle when it's that time of the month, or we are getting ready to, or we're aroused and we're getting ready to be intimate with our significant other. Other than that, a lot of women, you all do not commune with your womb space, and we have to get back attached to our womb and our sacred space, because our vagina, our womb, is very sacred. We create from this area. So if you're letting people go in and come out and go in and come out, and you're not doing this work to really release that, and only to bring abundance of a healthier mate to you, then you got to keep on repeating that cycle. So doing what I'm telling you to do is very, very, very important. Okay. So again, these towels, only $1, Dollar Tree. You get this, you snip it in the middle, you cut your circle out, you put it on top of your pot, you sit on your pot, you wrap a sheet around you, or if you have a big robe, like I have this big cozy robe, I wrap it around me, I sit on the pot, and then I just start to talk to myself. And I even do this, even if I'm not releasing anybody who's been in my womb space, I'll do this just to give myself time for myself. Like, I'll just sit on the floor and just allow myself to, just pour out from my heart back into my womb space, and just cycling how I feel about myself. I love you. I'm sorry that I allowed this to happen. I want to bring in, healthy relationships in all areas of my life. I'm sorry. I want to do better with myself. I want to do better with and be a good person over my body, mentally, physically, emotionally. So that's what you want to do. Whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, that is what you want to do. So get you one of these cloths. All right. The next step that you want to do is you have to just let it go. And a lot of times, we'll cry it out. We may talk to our girlfriends about it. Some people, like we talked about before, what's not good is getting you another person to get under or on top of, and you haven't done this work. You have to allow yourself time. Be patient. If you was with someone 2, 3, 10, 15 years, 20 years, who knows, don't think that this is going to be an overnight quick fix. Okay? It's not an overnight quick fix. When you've been with someone for years, it's going to take intentional work that you're going to have to do in order for you to relieve and release. Both relieve yourself and release, because it goes on. I've been in a relationship where I'm like, okay, I'm dreaming about this person and I'm thinking about this person. So it's like a never ending thing. I see something, I'm driving, I see something reminds me of them, or I'm at home and something come on TV reminds me of them, or a song. So everything can be a trigger. So what we're releasing is those areas. The first part that I told you is the most important part, because everything can be a trigger, because you are attached to the sensory part of the other person's energy. And when you're attached to the sensory part of the other person's energy, then anything can be a trigger, and you have not completely released that person from your space. So the first thing you want to do is recognize that and release those senses, that person's touch, and releasing them. No contact, giving yourself that time and space. If you need to do, hey, I just need to be by myself. I don't need to talk to anybody. I just need the energy that I was pouring out into him. I need to bring it back into myself. The energy that I'm putting out, going on social media to meet people, I'm putting that back into myself. The energy that I would put out, going out, getting drinks with my girls, I'm staying home, I'm putting that back into myself. Because if you don't do that, you're constantly releasing all this energy that you need to be pouring back into yourself, and you never really completely healed. All right? You just did a partial band-aid, and you never really healed. And it takes time to really heal from past relationships. And it could be years. It really could be years. It just depends on, where you are on this walk, on this journey. So, as women, cleansing our womb space is very, very, very important. You may also want to go on a cleanse or a detox. I'm talking about from food. You may want to do a water fast. You may want to do some type of cleanse, detox cleanse, or fasting to actually release everything in you out so you can be totally cleansed. Because see, when the mind knows that the body is cleansed, it'll start moving and acting and doing things different. So a physical cleanse would also be something that you want to look into to release a person or energy or someone from you that you feel like you're still attached to. And don't think it's something that they're doing. People always think that, hey, he must be doing this or he must be doing, girl. And nothing is outside of you. Everything is you. Everything is your doing and your work, okay? So you have to know that whatever is going on, there's something that's still housed in your brain, in your mind, in your subconscious that you have to let go of. You have to let go of. So if you're not ready to let go of this person, if you're not ready to say, well, we're still friends, but I don't want to be with him like that, but you have to say, hey. And I had a past relationship, and even with situationships, we'll have these, and we talk light of it. I know we talk light of it about, I need to, I just need to, do something to have sex, or, how can, you cannot just be out here allowing yourself to have sex with people just because you feel like you have an urge. That's what animals do. We are not animals. So when you have an urge, if you feel like, hey, I'm not strong enough, girl, I gotta go have sex. You need to learn how to be with yourself and sit with yourself, okay? And it's different ways. That's why I had Carmen on here to talk about the Kundalini sex, because that's where you're bringing that energy back to yourself, and you can have an inward orgasm without even having a partner and give that energy back to you without you allowing yourself to be with another person. That's going to be more work that you're going to have to do. So then you'll be at church like, oh, I got this soul tie. He did this and he took me through that. He messed up. And we worked hard on our credit. He done messed my credit up. And he done had me lose. Because I've been through that. I had a man have me lose my car, my house, my damn near my business. I've been in relationships where I have lost it all and had to start all the way over again because of a man in my life, in a relationship where I thought I was in love, what it really was just me seeking the love and affection, attention that I wasn't giving to myself. All right, so we have to recognize that. So first thing we want to do is release that person. Don't follow them on social media. If you do follow them, if you're friends on social media, unfollow them, and delete them. I'm not saying you got to block them. For me, I block because I'm like, I don't want any interaction because I need to let you go. I need to go back to the time when you didn't exist in my life. Because that's one thing that I tell myself. There was a point when I didn't know him and I was good. So let me get back to that point when I did know him and I was good and what that felt like. Let me release every aspect of this person's touch, feel, sight, attention, sexual energy, kiss, everything that has been done. Let me release that from his smell. Some of us get attached to men's cologne and their smell and their touch and then their sex, and then all of that gets compounded the way they talk to you. And men sneaky, ladies. You'll be having sex with them, and then they'll be talking in your ear, and then you'll get used to them saying different things to your ear, and you get used. That's them actually etching on your subconscious mind. So you have to reverse all of that work that has been done and release that. So you can't stay friends with them. You can't keep their numbers in your phone. Delete his number, sis. It's okay. Do not keep his number in your phone. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he was the governor, the president, the mayor, whatever. I have had relationships where I've had very top-notch men that I've had to delete out of my phone. I'm just like, I universe will bring me somebody else that I need for that. It'll be okay. I will be okay. I'm like, oh, and in my mind, in your mind, you like, but he could do, I could just use him he can do this, and we just gonna be friends because And I had to come back to myself, and I was like, nope, delete. So delete the number out of your phone, delete them from your social media, do not follow them, do not have contact with these people, because if you're not deleting it from the space, initially from this physical space, everything that you do, I don't care if you go to church and you ask all the pastors and preachers you know to lay hands on you and give you all whatever you need, and you go lay on the altar. It doesn't matter. You still gonna be like, I can't get it, feel like I'm still attached, because you haven't done the work initially. Baby, it don't matter who hands lay on you. It don't matter who does the work. You have to be the person to do the work. So delete. Get them out of your life, out of your mind, out of your day-to-day. You got to start changing your day-to-day, incorporate something different. Secondly, like I said, do your Yoni vaginal steam, your Yoni vaginal cleansing, where you are reconnecting to your womb space and giving that love back to yourself. Thirdly, instead of, and also doing the burning, the writing, remember, write it out. I am releasing Daryl, Washington. I'm releasing him from my life. He no longer serves a purpose for my physical, mental, and spiritual being. I'm letting him go back to, the energy that he came from. He does not house any parts of me. I am reclaiming back my power that I released to Daryl Washington, whatever. Write it out, burn it, release it. Then do your Yoni Steam, vaginal steam bath. Then from there, you have to give yourself time. You have to give yourself time. You're going to make sure when you do your Yoni Steam, you're going to sit in a meditative, kneeling in a meditative position over your pot. But you're also going to be fueling yourselves with words of power to bring that love back into your womb space, okay? So those are some tips. That's some things that I do when I'm out of a relationship or I'm releasing someone from my space. And then after you've done that healing work, you always want to go back and look at, okay, you want to revisit. You always want to revisit the relationship so you can recover and discover what you did to cause the breakup, or what you did to cause the interaction to not be anymore, what you did. Look at how you played a part. Okay, you don't want to be about, it's all on them, and he was this and he was that and he was no good and he cheated on me and he was sleeping with. Look at what you did. Look at what you did, because only you can correct you. So look at where you were when you all met. Look at where you were during a relationship from a mental standpoint. Look at how mentally healthy you were. Look at your mental health and what you did to cause the separation. And then look at that and go over that. And that is your homework. Like, let me look at this. How, so you don't have time to go out and go find another man to be up under and be sexual with and just to fulfill some emotions when you haven't done the work. So you need to go back and revisit what happened, what did you do to cause this breakup, and you do that work. All right, revisiting that and doing that work and be like, okay, I did this, I did that. Yeah, I was overgiving. Yes. Oh, I was nagging. Yes, I was too easy. I gave him up on the first night. I gave it up in the first weekend, and we had a situationship, and I thought he was gonna be a relationship with me when we never would have in the beginning. Whatever the case may be. Okay, so you go back and you look at why the termination of relate, what you caused, how did you cause the breakup? Your part, not his part, only your part. And this is all the work that you need to do in order to release that energy from the womb space. If you all have any other questions in regards to releasing past relationships or releasing past energy attachments, or what some would call soul ties, they're really a tie and a bond, and you're bounded subconsciously to their senses on how to release that, then just drop it in a comment or send me any type of message in the messenger. You can send me a message on Facebook if you have any questions. So hopefully this tackles and gets to the core of it, of some things that you need to do. It's no magic pill. It's no easy laying on the hands. It's no be gone. It is work, and then there's time, and then there's implementation of giving yourself back that self-love and that power that you gave away to someone else. And every time we get into a relationship, we attach to someone. And that's the process that we take when we attach from the heart space to someone else. We take that chance. And if it's something, that happens where the breakup occurs, then you just look back at yourself and like, what did I not do? What do I need to heal so this doesn't happen again when the universe sends me someone else? So doing these steps and going through this process will not only help you heal yourself and release that, but it also allows you to mend any broken areas in your life that you didn't see before that relationship, so it doesn't come up again with a different meat suit and a different name, but the same cycle. And that is what we want to let go of. All right, ladies, I'm getting ready to go to the gym. Hopefully, again, Vashana Renee will be on here. Next week is the 14th. We will have Women Talk Wednesday, where we will have Felicia Paraham, exercise physiologist. She's going to talk to us on how to be fit over 40. Week after that, we're going to have Vashana Renee. She is a wife coach. She is going to talk to us about how to be wifey material. So whether you're married or you're single or you're seeking to be in a mate relationship with the man, then she is going to give us, she has a successful relationship. Her and her husband are beautiful people. She is a wife coach. This is what she does. So she will be on Women Talk Wednesdays to talk to us about what she does and how she can coach you through, being a wife, or get you to the point of being a wife, because that's the ultimate goal, right? Ultimate goal should be to make our mate or make our man happy. And how can we do that successfully as women on our purpose, right? Part of our purpose is to be mothers, caregivers, and wives. So being a wife is very important, and we need to look into that and how to do it successfully. Of course, we know we'll have ups and downs, but we want to go in it with as much information as we can. We don't want to go in there just kicking, throwing stuff around, messing everything up, not knowing what to do. But having a wife coach, just like we have a financial coach, we have a fitness coach, we have people who help us design our homes. We have all these different people to coach us. We need a wife coach. We need to know how to be in relationships, so we don't have to always talk about how to release a soul tie or a connection or a spiritual bond. All right, so you all have a good rest of your evening. And of course, I'll probably do another live. Y'all let me know what you want to talk about. But women on Women of Purpose. But I know we have Felicia next. And then after Felicia is Vashana Renee. And hopefully you all are still, that's what I'm doing next. Talk to you all about, because I got my financial advisor. We're moving forward. We're going to talk about what you all doing to prepare for this 90-day financial challenge that I told you about the other night. So have a great rest of your day.